Audrey, the origins, the Voodoo Queen. It was the summer of 1745 and Jack was on his way out to propose to Audrey. Well, that was his intentions that day. He hadn't gotten far when he come down to the docks at Bristol. The merchant ships had all just tied up, and so the Royal Navy too. Better watch out, get caught taking a shilling from them. I ain't taking no whip to the back, said Jack. I'll avoid them like the plague. But he couldn't resist the allure and the smells of the docks. What you bringing in, mate? Oh, something called pineapples. What's a pineapple? Do you want a taste? Jack says, no thank you, I'll just stick with ordinary apples. I don't think I like anything with pine in it. But what's the other stuff you got? Rum? Oh yeah, I like rum. On second thought, I'm a bit busy. Royal Navy's in town. I better not get whacked on the head with that. There was other things from Jamaica and Africa, all strange kind of stuff coming in. Some things what shouldn't have been ever done, but people turned a blind eye to in them days. But still, Jack was tempted, but managed to think Audrey. As he walked along the streets of Bristol, he finally made it to Audrey's house. By then, the doubts had set in. Could he really marry Audrey? He didn't have any money really, or any prospects. He was just about to go down the path and say, Audrey, will you marry me? Then he heard, Oi, mister! Me? Yeah, you. Come here. I saw you down the docks. Remember I had some pineapples? Yeah, you mentioned one. Well, would you like to do some work? It depends what kind of work it is. Say no more, he said, touching his nose. Jack said, I'm up for it. If it's got money in it, I need the money to get married. But you should say that, said the guy. My captain's looking for new crew members and we do pretty good with rum. And you get some good money as well. Bit dangerous, but the money outdoes the danger. My name's Jack. Hey, so it's mine as well. Funny that too, Jack, sir. Anyway, if you want to be in, we'll leave it high tide today. Okay, can I just propose to my fiancée? Oh, sorry, I'm in the way. Oh, he said, good luck, and left. Jack went up to the door, knocked on the door, and was greeted by Audrey and her parents, who were beaming big smiles. They'd been waiting for Jack to propose for ages. They were first loves, both of them. They'd never loved anybody else other than each other. Jack said, may I have some privacy, please? Audrey's parents left. Audrey, I don't know what to say. I can't marry you. I do want to marry you, but I just don't have the means to look after you and give you a life what you deserve. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to run away to sea and become a rum runner, a pirate, sort of. It's a better life than the Royal Navy offer. So I suppose this could be the last time I ever see you, because I might end up hanging on the gallows at the docks. That might be the next time you see me, said Jack with a very low, sad voice. Audrey said, that's it. I can't. You're not leaving me. Wherever you go, I'm going too, she said. And she ran in the house, grabbed some clothes, said, come on, what are you waiting for? If it's an adventure we're going to have, it's an adventure we're going to get. Jack couldn't believe it. Really? Okay, let's go. And the boat ran down to the docks at Bristol. Sure enough, the guy was still there. Do you mind if my fiancée comes with us? They say about women on board, but hey, we're pirates. I don't give a monkey's what the captain says. Jack says, stick with me. We could get rich more than what the captain does, if you know what I mean. So that's what happened. Audrey and Jack joined the crew. But the crew weren't happy about the captain. They were smuggling about 60 barrels of rum a night. 60! And they were only getting paid for 2. But the captain kept saying, oh, it's the overheads. I have a ship to keep. No, he doesn't. We do it. The crew were really, really peed off. Jack stood up. If you back me, I'll be the captain. I'll be fair and we'll be shared out equally among each other. We'll all be rich, not just one. The crew all cheered. Yeah! Gets the captain! Let's throw him overboard. Jack said, let's just slit his throat and get rid of him. That's a good idea, said the crew. The captain locked himself in his cabin. Where's the Royal Navy when you need them, he said, as they burst the door open. Please don't kill me. I'll just go. Please, you don't have to kill me. Okay, walk the plank. But I can't swim. Slit your throat. Or swim. He thought about it and decided he would jump. He opened the window and jumped out. Lucky for him, it was right next to the shore. He managed to survive. We'll never see him again, said Jack. We need to rename this ship something adventurous. The Black Crow. That's what we will call our ship, the Black Crow. And so it was. Jack and his crew and the Black Crow took off to sea, sailing around, mainly just doing rum runs or sometimes attacking little ships, taking their merchants' goods. Nothing big time, just sailing around. Then one day in port, Jack heard some pirates talking about the Voodoo Queen, and how it had a treasure that was so big it would take them all day and night to transfer it to the ship. But the only thing was, this ship was really, really big and very well armed, and every ship was tried to attack it has failed. Jack said, I like a challenge. Went back and told his crew about the Voodoo Queen. I've heard of that ship, said one guy. It's cursed. What do you mean it's cursed? Well, I've heard that there were lovers, a bit like you and Audrey, funny enough. But they got in trouble with the Voodoo Queen. And she ended up dying and turning into a ship, a ghost, sort of. She's alive but only on board. Captain Sullivan is his name. He lives as long as that ship exists. What do you mean, as long as the ship exists, said Jack? Well, if the ship's destroyed, he dies and she dies too. They're both linked together forever. Oh, that's just mumbo jumbo. I don't believe any of that, said Jack. The ship exists. The Voodoo Queen is real, believe me, son. I'm an old sea dog. I know all these things. Be careful. You might just end up being the one what gets cursed. Don't say I never warned you. Jack never listened. So he set off. But first, he thought, I'll rob some ships, get some money, buy some more cannons. The crew said, how about we just get a bigger ship? Jack said, this ship's brilliant. It's fast. A few more cannons on it. Agile will be in and out like a flash, like that. The crew said, okay, so they got some more cannons, about 6. 3 on each side. Jack said, I think we need a small one at the front, just for that sneaky shot when we turn round. Some grape shot in it. So they did, and took off in search of the Voodoo Queen. Round the Caribbean they went. They were there for weeks, They'd never seen anything apart from the Merchant Navy and the Royal Navy not far behind. They were sick of the Royal Navy chasing them. They barely just escaped the Lynch mob, I tell you. But luckily, that night, there was a fog bank. Jack said, "Up in the crow's nest, can you see anything?" "I see a pirate flag." "A what?" "A pirate flag, sir." "Where?" "To the port." "Ring the bell then." Ding, 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 ding. "All hands on deck. Man the guns on the port side. Pirate ship approaching." It was the Voodoo Queen. She was totally unaware that the Black Crow was creeping up on her. Soon Jack shouted, "Fire!" An almighty battle broke out. That wasn't the end. His ship, lucky, was turning left, right, dodging. Lucky it was small, or there would have been gunners. Jack said, "Come around, come about, lads. Fire!" Broadside, boom, 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 boom. Because they were small, they were missing most of the shots from the Voodoo Queen. Jack decided to board. His men swung across, and soon the Voodoo Queen, what had never been captured, was caught. Captain Sullivan was tied to the mast as his crew pinched all the treasure, every single bit. Jack said, "Bring that single cannon forward," and pointed it at the deck. "Well, Captain, you have a choice. Do you want to join my crew and hand your ship over to me? Or are you going down like a good captain with your ship?" Captain Sullivan just said, "If I'm going down, I'm going with my ship. I'm never going to leave her. I love her." Jack said, "What a stupid answer. So be it. You go down to Davy Jones' locker. Give him my regards. Fire the cannon." Boom! Smashed all through the floors and through the bottom. The Voodoo Queen was dead, sinking fast to the bottom of Davy Jones's locker. I curse you," shouted Captain Sullivan, "for you shall take my curse. You have set me free. Don't say you were never warned. Don't say you were ever warned," as she disappeared below the waves. Jack just cuddled Audrey and laughed. "A curse, as if curses really don't exist, the fool. We're rich beyond our wildest dreams." The crew all cheered. "Yeah, we're rich finally. We can find a safe port and we can all settle down and live comfortable lives now. We're rich. Hip hip hooray, well done Captain Jack," they all shouted, and set sail for a port in the Caribbean. But it turned out it wouldn't be a happy ending. For the curse was real. That night Audrey felt sick, and there wasn't anything they could do. There wasn't any doctors on board, not that kind, and Audrey died. Jack, for the first time in his life, cried. The tears poured down his face. He swore vengeance against anybody who was so angry that Audrey's spirit came back and possessed the ship. And Jack would never die as long as the ship existed. The curse was real. Jack couldn't contain his rage any longer. He'd lost his love. He wanted bloodlust. "Sir, the Royal Navy approaching." "Man your guns." "But sir, it's a Navy ship." "Man your guns. No prisoners." Hoist the colours. Up went the skull and crossbones, and Jack attacked. No mercy was given or shown. The ship was blown to bits. They didn't even see him coming out of the fog. What seemed to follow him for some reason, like a plague. The poor sailors of that ship, nobody was spared. Jack sunk the ship no survivors, and sailed on to the next ship and the next, to Jack and his ship Audrey were feared among the Royal Navy, the Merchant Navy, and even more amongst pirates, because he wasn't bothered whoever crossed his path would perish, be it pirates or otherwise. Jack was just full of rage. 15 years later, Jack had mellowed and started to calm down. There's only so many people he could kill, so many ships he could sink. And Audrey said, "Please, Jack, stop. I do love you. You're my first love," she said, crying. Then Jack said, "Stop crying. You're making me even more sad." But Audrey said, "It's time. You have to let me go. I'm just a ship. We can never be together as man and wife." Jack said, "I know, but we'll always be together, tied by fate. You and me are destined to always be together. Your end will be my demise," said Jack. "I love you." She said, "I love you too." And then he pulled himself together and said, "That's it, crew. We must take off. This is a new start, a new time, a new chapter." They pulled into Bristol, hopefully for the last time, but it was never to be, was it? It was just to be the start of another adventure for Audrey.